let's kind of review a little bit about what we've talked about now. So you've cut out the distractions from your life. Got focused. This is what I'm trying to do. This is my business. This is my plan. And you got smart about it. You educated yourself. You learned. You went to school. Whatever it is you needed for that goal. You are now the expert. You did your scenario planning. You thought about, okay, what are the contingencies? What are the bad things, good things? You did your whole analysis. Set your plan. Okay. Starting from the big picture to the daily tasks, sometimes down to the hour or the minute, depending on your goal. Okay, so now what? The most important part. And sometimes this part is so much more important than anything else you can possibly do. And that's getting it done. That's execution. That's making it happen. That's where the rubber meets the road. All the planning and thinking and strategizing is worthless without execution. Without execution, you have nothing. And I remember I had a friend who was a leadership development consultant, and he wrote a book on teamwork and leadership and all this. And, I read it, and I didn't care for it. And I nicely criticized him. I'm like, well, it was kind of just a rehash of a lot of every other book on, self-development, leadership, self-help, all this stuff. I didn't see any new thought or anything original in the whole thing. And he said something, to me that really caught me. He's like, oh, well, can I see your book? And I was like, well, I don't have a book. He said, well, you know how much my book has sold? And he had sold a lot of bad books. And the key is not to go read bad books or buy bad books or anything like that. He executed on a not so perfect project, in my mind anyway. There were, a bunch of typographical errors, things like that in the book. I wasn't edited well or written well, in my opinion. Yet, it was driving him to success. Because while I'm sitting there on the sidelines writing my book, and I'd been working on my book for 10 years, and it still hadn't been produced. And there's always, I can fix this, I can make this better, I can do that. But he executed, and he got it done. So once you go through this whole process, now you gotta go for it. You gotta execute. And there's a few things that you can do to really help drive and keep that momentum. First of all, if this is something important to you, important to your business, tell everyone about it. Everyone that will listen. Tell the world for a lot of reasons. First, it will help you stay on track and think, oh yeah, this is my goal. This is the thing I'm talking about. It'll help you just be refreshed every day. Oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm working towards. The next thing is maybe you'll make some connection with somebody. Maybe someone will have a resource. Hey, you know what? I can help you with that. Hey, did you know about this? Or I know somebody. So that is crucial that you just tell everybody. Another thing is it keeps you accountable. Because you don't want to say, oh, I'm going to do this I'm going to have my book done by the end of this week, and it's not done. At the end of this month, and it's not done. It becomes uncomfortable when you tell everyone you're going to do something and then don't deliver. So tell the world. Tell everybody about it. And when you start executing that plan, you're going to find problems. You're going to find things that you didn't quite think through. You're going to find obstacles you didn't anticipate. But you don't stop. And you don't scrap the whole plan and start from scratch. You got to run with it. Now, part of contingency planning is you look at, okay, how can we veer? How can we avoid things when we see when we see problems. And that's why so much has to go into that planning, to make sure that you have that 80% solution when you start moving with it, but not 100%. Because if you start getting enough momentum and you're telling everyone about it and every fiber of your being is into executing and driving forward, you're this force. You're like the Titanic, going in one direction really fast. And you can't just stop it on a dime, so don't even try. So when you see those icebergs up ahead, you need to be able to just veer, go to the right, go to the left, and adjust accordingly. But don't try and jump ship. Don't try and start all over. Execution of a half-baked plan is tremendously superior than not executing a perfect plan or missing the timing on an opportunity because it had to be perfect. I've seen so many just brilliant people miss opportunities because they had the perfect plan and they didn't execute in time, and somebody beat them to the marketplace, someone beat them to the opportunity, someone else did it first. And sometimes you just go with that 80% solution and execute. I mean, when you look at out there are so many successful people in business, academia, government, that admittedly have a lot of flaws and don't have perfect plans, that kind of run with things maybe even prematurely, but they're consistent and dependable and honest about it. And if you're waiting for perfection, it's never going to happen. Because I'm telling you, you will never be perfect. Your plan will never be 100% perfect. You need to execute. When you have a plan, you put your head down, you drive, get rid of those distractions, and make it happen.